Capuchin priest Paul Hinder, Bishop of the Apostolic Vicariate of Southern Arabia, is someone unique. He is learned, master of several languages, a bridge builder, and a man of deep faith, discipline, and energy. Above all, he is a skillful pastor who devotes himself with great zeal as shepherd in the territory of Southern Arabia. On the 4th of July 2017, Paul Hinder celebrates 50 years of his priestly ordination. What is the story behind the making of such a special priest of Jesus Christ? Paul Hinder was born on the 22nd of April 1942 in the tiny hamlet of Niederhof, Switzerland, to William and Agnes Hinder. The family were the owners of a small farm. Together with his three brothers, Willi, Josef, and Pius, Paul grew up in a family that was marked by a simple and deep Christian faith.
We were a family, I would say a peaceful family. It was not a heaven, but almost.
As a small child, the little Paul had quite a loud voice, and his cries would sometimes disturb the neighbors.
Each time when I hear a child crying in the church, and when sometimes it comes up the feeling, can't it be quieter? Then I think, how was I when I was a child? Because my brother told me, you were horrible when you were shouting and crying as a child.
His mother taught him to pray while doing ordinary tasks around the farm, a practice that was to stay with him all his life. At Sunday Mass, he would watch the liturgy with fascination and admired his parish priest, a man of silent prayer. This, together with the example of his elder brother Josef, who joined the Benedictines of the famous Marian shrine of Einsiedeln, made a deep impression on the mind of the young Paul. After attending primary school in Landeswil, Paul entered the boarding school of the Capuchins in Appenzell. Supporting his education was not easy for the family. After a brief period of searching, Paul made his decision to join the Capuchins. While Paul was undergoing his seminary formation, the Second Vatican Council was underway. News of several changes came from Rome every week. It was a challenging time. Many people were sadly swept away by the tides of these changes. In September 1963, Paul made his profession as a Capuchin. On the 4th of July 1967, Paul was ordained a priest in the same Capuchin friary in Appenzell, where he did his studies many years before. His first Mass was in his home church in Busnang. In the fall of 1969, Paul was sent for higher studies in the University of Munich in Germany, and then Fribourg in Switzerland. While studying in Fribourg, he was also the formator of the young French-speaking postulants, novices, and theology students in the friary there. The late 1960s was a time of crisis.
It was the time in Europe and also in Switzerland where many of the young priests left the game in the early 70s. And that was not easy for me to live this situation where I sometimes had to ask, why them, why not me, and so on. But again, coming back, I think a basic discipline of the spiritual life and prayer, sacraments, confession, and so on, to keep it. Also, the tendency went in another direction to say, no, this is my way, and I keep it.
During this time, Paul rose to become a leader among the young friars. Paul was not only intelligent, but also a very committed religious of deep faith and spirituality. His capabilities did not go unnoticed. Paul was catapulted into leadership within the order in Switzerland. From this time, Paul began traveling to visit the mission stations of the Swiss Capuchins in the Seychelles, Indonesia, Latin America, and the African countries.
Or once in Madagascar, during a cyclone, we had to travel. The bridges had been taken away. We had to pass by a kind of boat. It was really dangerous when you had the water up to a few centimeters to the board of the boat. And then afterwards we had to go on foot again, and then again the boat and so on. We took 3 days for a travel which was planned originally by 1 hour's flight.
During his busy schedule, Paul did not lose touch with his relatives and friends. Relationships and friendships are something that he always has time for. In 1994, Paul was elected to the General Council of the Capuchins in Rome as General Definitor. He became responsible for the German, French, and Dutch-speaking provinces in Europe and Canada, and the Capuchins in the Middle East.
When I came the first time to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, I thought never in my life I could live here. Never. In this dust, in this desert. That's terrible. Never. It turned out differently.
In December 2003, the Holy Father, Pope John Paul II, appointed Paul Hinder as Auxiliary Bishop of the Apostolic Vicariate of Arabia to assist Bishop Bernardo Gremoli, who was already past the age of retirement. He received his Episcopal consecration on the 30th of January 2004. In March 2005, Paul Hinder was appointed Apostolic Vicar of the Vicariate of Arabia with its headquarters in Abu Dhabi. Day after day, the bishop continues his work of visiting his vicariate, teaching his faithful, encouraging his collaborators, holding innumerable meetings, maintaining cordial relationships with the governing authorities, all at a serene and gentle pace. His secret is his iron discipline, which balances his prayer, work, and free time. The bishop's day starts at 4 a.m. with his first prayer, Veni Creator Spiritus, the ancient Latin hymn asking the help of the Holy Spirit. Soon after, the bishop exercises for about 30 minutes. A more solemn time of personal prayer follows. If the bishop is in Abu Dhabi, he almost always celebrates Mass with the people at 6:30 a.m. Breakfast follows at 7 a.m. and the day is set in motion. His family at the bishop's house provides a climate for relaxing moments. He is very close to his co-workers and staff. For the bishop, work closes at 8 p.m. As a habit, he never works after dinner. These moments are spent reading a book or watching news. By 10:30 p.m., he is in bed. He strictly takes his annual vacation in the Swiss mountains. Hiking in the mountains and the touch with nature is a very precious escape for him. On the 22nd of April 2017, the bishop turned 75. He also celebrates another great milestone the same year, the Golden Jubilee of Priestly Ordination. He can most assuredly be called a faithful servant of the Lord. May the Lord bless and keep him for many more years to come.
Looking back, the older you are, the more you see your limits, and that is an experience I see. But these are also at the same time experiences where I said, look, I have given myself into your hands. I tried to do what I could with my limits. You have assisted me, Lord. I give you back my life, relying a little bit to the story of the multiplication of the bread. The little we have in our hands, we have to give it, and it will be multiplied, not because of our quality, but because there is another who is working behind. And that I hope also in my activity as a priest, in my activity now as a bishop, that what I do is multiplied by the one who is the real Lord and the head of the Church.